there guys, I hope everything's well. Once again it's Ebird Online, and today I'm going to review the latest antics of Kim and Sojaboy. Yes, that's right, it's 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After, episode 11. And so for those of you who have weak sensibilities, I'm going to prime you for this video. I'm going to commence at a bottom adjacent point. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, have a look at this.
So you're going to go meet a girl that you might marry while I'm here.
Interesting. Very interesting. Well, Kim did say last week that she knows her worth. It seems like Sojaboy does too. Oh, Lord. But guys, before we get into it, a massive thank you to everyone giving me support and subscribing to my channel. I really do appreciate it. And also, thank you for all your interesting points in the comments section. I'm toying with the idea of doing some shorts using your comments because there are quite a few I'd like to, respond to, and I haven't really got a good forum in which to do it. So stay tuned for that. But if you've yet to subscribe, please don't forget to hit that big red button, and also don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. Also, if you like what you see, help Ebird out with our algorithm and smash the like button. Thanks guys. Right, so without further ado, I give you Kim and Sojaboy. So yeah, that little scene in the taxi had me absolutely in stitches. I think it was the forthright way in which Kim said, so let me get this straight. You're going to meet with a girl that you might marry whilst I'm here in Nigeria. And Sojaboy looked at her languidly and said, yes. He's not one bit worried, Kim. He's not one bit worried. He knows you're going nowhere. And right after this scene, Kim said, I don't have to accept this. And Sojaboy said, I stand on what my mum says. I will never disobey her. Guys, all I've got to say at this point is, Kim, it's time to stop talking and to start walking. At this point, there really is no alternative. But between you and me, guys, she found another way. It's not the way that I would have gone, nor you, nor anybody with a sense of self-worth or a soupçon of intelligence. But Kim did have another trick up her sleeve, but we'll get to that in due course. And so when they arrived back at the hotel room, they reconvened their, what seems like weeks-old argument now of if they'll get the blessing, who's going to be first wife, who's going to be second wife, and so on. And Sojaboy's trying to get Kim round to his way of thinking and his mum's way of thinking, i.e. he's trying to kind of say, well, what happens if my mum says, no way to you being the first wife? What then? And instead of Kim saying, well, that's it, I'd be gone, she just kept on saying, I don't want to be the second wife. I want to be the first wife. I don't want to be the second wife. I want to be the first wife. We know what you want. We're saying, if you don't get what you want, what are you going to do? That's the question. I think we know the answer, guys. Sweet F.A. Nothing, nada, not a bloody thing. Guys, as they were sitting talking, Sojaboy was getting his outfit ready for his big meeting with his cousin stroke first wife tomorrow. And guys, that's when it hit me. Right between the eyes. I believe that Kimberly has a kink. No, not the kink that you're all thinking. Kimberly has a humiliation kink. She gets off on being completely and utterly humiliated by her partners. She states loudly and proudly, this is what I want, knowing she has literally no chance on God's green earth of getting what she wants. And I think she gets off on being able to moan to people and say, look how I've been treated. She enjoys the moan. She has a humiliation kink. I think she enjoys it. As I've said before, she lives her life in a state of high drama, and we all know that she enjoys that, and she enjoys the anecdotal data. She enjoys being interesting for a moment. But I think the final crescendo, the big O, the money shot for Kim, is the humiliation. That's the only possible way in which this situation here can be explained. And further to this, I also believe she enjoys being completely hoodwinked by somebody. She allows herself to be hoodwinked when it's really obvious what's happening. Listen to this.
And I'm scared that you're going to meet somebody that's younger than me, probably prettier than me, and then, you're going to have this connection with her, and then it's going to be like, well, okay, I'm still here.
Okay, it will take a very long time for me to go with that woman and even have this connection, and that is if I'm not in a relationship. Think about how far we've been coming. Think about how the kind of stages we pass through before we get to this place. How do you think I'll just meet a lady because she's young, or maybe she's beautiful? Boom. It's not possible.
Right, okay, so it's not possible for Sojaboy to fall in love with this woman that he's going to meet. Even if she's young, even if she's beautiful. It's going to take him time. Really, Sojaboy? Well, let's see what happens, shall we? Let's see what happens. And so as this couple are boring on about this same old topic, Kim manages to construct a narrative whereby she says to Sojaboy, well, okay, I will let you go then. Kim, he was going anyway. But just tell your mum that I'm being really nice and I've let you go, and maybe that way your mum will see how reasonable I am and she'll give us the blessing. Oh, Kim, how much you have to learn. Do you honestly believe that Sojaboy's mum will be grateful to you that you've let him on bloody day release? I doubt it. Guys, the Pope's missing a trick. Kimberly the kink, well, she needs anointing. However, this final statement from Kim lets me know that, well, she's fooling nobody, not even herself. Nothing that's happening in Nigeria is within her control and she knows it.
So, like, go meet this girl, woman, or whatever she is, and go meet her, but I'm not happy about this at all. Like, it makes my skin crawl to think
I'm not happy
that I'm
about
in Nigeria and you're going to go meet some other woman. That just blows my mind. But I get it. I understand it.
Babe,
I don't like it at all.
Babe, I love you.
I know.
And guys, you know I said earlier, Kimberly has another plan. Unfortunately, it's upon us. And this week, in Shit We Wish You Could Unsee, we have The Proposal, starring Kimberly and an omni-reluctant Sojaboy. And so the camera pans around the room. And what do we see? Tinsel curtains. For who doesn't love a tinsel curtain? I haven't seen those since the 1980s. And then there's fake rose petals all over the floor and on, well, every horizontal surface. There's candles, the same one that we use for memorials, and a bottle of Asti Spumante. And Sojaboy walked in and Kim said, I did all of this myself. He said, oh, impressive. It's really not. And then she told him she loved him. He knows. And she got on bended knee and asked him to marry her. And guys, at this point, Sojaboy's body language was quite something else. He put his hand over both eyes and he left it there for quite some time. And then he moved it down a bit. It was covering his whole face. At one point, he looked embarrassed. And she said, will you marry me? And then he said, Kimberly, if marrying you is what will make you happy in life, then I say yes. Sojaboy, what will make you happy in life? Oh yeah, that's right. You've got to go and meet her tomorrow. Oh dear, you couldn't make this up. And so Kimberly, ever ready, had 2 rings in case one didn't fit. So the first one was far too small for Sojaboy. Don't worry, Kimberly, he can use that for his first wife. And the second one thankfully fit. And she put it onto his finger and they were, I guess, engaged. Guys, congratulations. And Sojaboy was somewhat bewildered. He said to production, it's so surprising to see a woman asking a man to marry them. It's not our culture, Sojaboy. It's not ours either. I don't think it's anybody's. It's just Kim. But Kim was happy, satisfied and smug because now she's engaged to Sojaboy. And the next time we see this couple, it's the day of the big date. Let's survey the facts, shall we? In the hotel room paid for by Kim. In the final few days of her trip, and the day after she proposed to Sojaboy, and he accepted. He's busy sprucing himself up for a date with a prospective wife. Kim, if today isn't a day to have a good long hard look at this relationship, then I don't know when is. I have to admit Sojaboy looked very dapper, wearing a sky blue suit and a rather nice hat, very traditional. But as he picked imaginary bits of fluff off himself and made sure that he looked picture perfect, the salatorially challenged Kim sat on a chair, chuntering away. And as he exited, she said, don't have fun. And so, as she had nobody else to moan and complain to and be humiliated in front of, she decided to go and call her son, Jamal, or to give him his full title, the lovely Jamal. So Kim tells Jamal that she's on the verge of tears. She tells him since she's been there's been non-stop drama. And then she tells him there's a woman he's going to meet, someone to have children with, and to marry Kim. Don't forget the wedding. And Jamal was very clearly taken aback, and he asked her, well, how will you adjust to another wife? She didn't answer the question, but she replied, but it's his culture, Jamal. And then Jamal asked, what's the point of being the first wife? And he meant as opposed to the second wife. And she said, because I love him. Kim, none of these statements that you're making are answers to the questions. And then she dropped a bombshell on him and she let him know that she'd asked Sojaboy to marry her and he'd accepted. And Jamal said, well, you haven't got the blessing, so does his mum know? And she said, well, he said he's not going to tell his mum because she wouldn't understand, but he's wearing the ring. What part of it, Kim, wouldn't she understand? She'd understand. He's not telling his mum because he's lying to her. And then Jamal pointed out that they've in essence gone behind Sojaboy's mum's back to get married, and by omission they're lying to her. And within this fact lies the hypocrisy of Sojaboy. But guys, it made me laugh because as Jamal was saying all this, she was saying, right, yeah, you're right actually, yes, you're right, he's not telling the truth. And I can see what was running through her head. Not that she wants to get married to an effing liar, but I can tell that she's planning on spilling the beans. If she sees his mum again and she refuses to give them the blessing, I can imagine Kim just blurting it out. And then Jamal finished up by saying, well, don't be impulsive, Mum. Don't get married whilst you're in Nigeria. And that should be where we leave things for this week, but not quite. Because what do you know? We get a sneak preview of next week's episode. And what do we see? We see Sojaboy flirting outrageously with his cousin, or first wife, whatever you want to call her. There really does seem to be some sort of, special chemistry between the two. And Sojaboy actually said, I didn't expect you to be so pretty. And he asked her for her phone number. And from the little clip that we saw, the whole time she was grinning like a first wife. And that is where we end things for this week. So what does the Ebird make to all of this? This is clearly going to end in Kim's tears. I've got to say, I'm quite surprised with how much he was flirting with this woman and how instantaneous the chemistry seems to be between Sojaboy and his cousin. If this is an accurate reflection of how the meeting went, then I have to say Kim's in very grave trouble. Now, as we all know, Kim has a dangerous lack of charisma. But this girl, just looking at her face, I do kind of want to know more about her. She was all in traditional dress, but she had kind of a cheeky, coquettish, quality to her. She's certainly very interesting. And so the next reason why Kim's going to have to dry her tears very soon is that I believe whether Sojaboy marries Kim first or the other woman first or vice versa, once a baby's on its way, Sojaboy's going to want to be around, not just for the birth, but to bond with the baby. And where will Kim be during this time? Sitting twiddling her thumbs, wondering what the hell is going on in Africa. By a show of hands, who thinks that Kim would be able to keep a lid on things if Sojaboy was gone for, 2, 3, 4 months at a time? Anybody? I thought not. She will flip her lid, and that will be the end of their relationship, and more than likely she'll have already signed on the dotted line to say, yep, I'm financially responsible for Sojaboy in America for the next 10 years. Now we've already discovered from Yara this week that once you have your green card and your papers in hand, you can pretty much come and go. And I've got a feeling that's what Sojaboy plans to do. Another big problem for Kim would be a side-by-side comparison. If he gets on with this girl and it comes to it, and that's assuming that she'd agree to any plural marriage with Kim involved. But let's say for argument's sake that she did. I sincerely doubt she'd let Kim demand to be first wife. And if Sojaboy puts them side by side, he's going to think, wow, this is what my family want. This is what my eyes tell me. And this is what I need for my career. Let's face facts. Sojaboy can, unfortunately, find another Kim very, very quickly. So if it turns out that he does like this other girl, genuinely like her, Kim's in quite a bit of trouble, I think. So yes, once again, I'm advocating that Kim goes home forthwith. Listen to your son, listen to Jamal. You don't have a moment to lose. This person has no care for you. And the ease with which he told the lie, oh well, look at us. It took us 2 years to get to where we are. It's going to be the same with any other woman. I'm not just going to click my fingers, even if she's really pretty and really amazing, and have the same feelings for her as I do for you. Sojaboy, it only took you 2 years to fall in love with Kimberly because half of the first year you were with Zara, and there was a worldwide pandemic on during that time. Otherwise things would have been, I think, expedited somewhat. But anyway, guys, I'd love to know what you think. What do you think to this new girl? I already feel sorry for her if she in any way gets involved with the ridiculous relationship that is Sojaboy and Kim. And what do you think to Jamal? Do you think, as I do, he should have been more forceful and said to his mum, you need to come home. You've had these sorts of relationships previously. They don't work. You will be mugged off. Humiliation's around the corner. Don't stop smiling, Kim. I think that... No, seriously, I think that he should have, been more forceful with his mum. He should have told her more home truths. Maybe he will off camera. Anyway guys, put your thoughts down below and I'll get on with my next video. I can feel the flu coming on. Mr. Ebird's had it for the last 2 or 3 days and I can feel it kicking in. And so if the graphics to this video are less than you'd hoped for, please accept my apologies. I'd rather just get this out than leave it hanging around until next week. Guys, please like and subscribe and all of that good stuff, and I will see you very soon. Thank you so much for listening. You've been listening to Ebird Online, and I bid you good day.